I want to give you this data point and you can draw your own conclusions. About 8 Reaper drones belonging to the United States of America have been shot down over Yemen as part of the United States war against the Houthis that the United States refuses to publish casualty numbers about. Also, the United States has lost 2 F-18 Hornets in the Red Sea in connection with this operation against the Houthis. The United States government and Trump and everyone and the Department of Defense report, these planes basically just fell off the side of the fighter ship. This is the same war against the Houthis where you have Pete Hegseth and Mike Walls and others were in that Signal chat where they were talking about classified information that they claim, we didn't compromise any war plans. We know that also some of that information has been hacked. We know that they were involved in at least 20 other, at least signal communications involving war planning or highly sensitive things. And so would it shock you that the Trump regime is involved in a massive, massive cover-up? Now, I want you to add that with the fact that Donald Trump made this very, very bizarre announcement about the Houthis. I just want you to think about it. After all this tough rhetoric talk from Pete Hegseth and Trump about attacking the Houthis, in Donald Trump's press conference, he goes, we need to take the Houthis' word for it that they will stop attacking us and that he's agreeing to a ceasefire. He goes, they're incredibly brave. He calls the Houthis, the terrorist organization, he calls them brave. He said it was amazing what they took. He says, we honor them and we honor their commitment. And this barely got a blip of attention. But here on the MeidasTouch Network, I'm going to give it more than a blip of attention. Here, play this clip.
We had a very good outcome with the Houthis, and we honor their word. I mean, they made a commitment, and we dealt with other countries that were close to them and their surrogates, and we honor all of their words. We'll see what happens, but I think, I believe that hopefully that's over with, and they'll leave the ships alone, just leave those ships alone. But so we do. We take their word for it. It was, we hit them very hard. They had a great capacity to withstand punishment. They took tremendous punishment. And, you could say there's a lot of bravery there. That it was amazing what they took. But we honor their commitment and their word. They gave us their word that they wouldn't be shooting ships anymore, and we honor that.
You honor their commitment? By the way, have you ever heard Donald Trump talk about Ukraine like that, or our allies like that, or Canada like that, or Europe? That's how he's talking about the Houthis? That's what he's saying? Do you realize how weak and pathetic this makes us look? I'll tell you who knows how weak and pathetic we look as well. And I always kind of want to bring this out because this Trump regime is just a walking, talking idiocracy. In fact, idiocracy was kind to the United States, as my friend Aaron Ruper has said. But I want to show you this from the perspective of aliens. What if the aliens saw this? What would they think about all of this? I bring you the Alien Super Show, one of my favorite shows on the MeidasTouch Network. They're going to break down all of the developments, and from the MAGA meltdown about the woke Pope, they think the Pope's too woke for them right now, to Donald Trump making up trade deals that are like fake deals. Let's just show it to you here. Let's bring in the aliens.
Good for him. He's the Pope.
Good for him.
Lay off at Twitter, Pope.
La-di-da.
Whoop-de-doo. Already insane. What grudge do you have against this guy?
You got a tweet here from another bishop.
Robert Prevost reposted.
Retweeted by Robert Prevost. That was about George Floyd.
How dare he offer condolences for the family of that murdered man? That's very un-Pope-like.
I'm sorry, man. You're just going with fake news about George Floyd.
He's alive? These people are so up their dumb brain holes. They have no idea what's real anymore.
You got to stay the heck out of it. Sorry, Pope or no Pope. We're gonna give it to you straight around here.
Give it to you straight.
Now, when we say one nation under God, we don't mean this part of the nation, okay? Stay out of this.
Vow of silence already.
Robert Prevost backing up his woke bussy into our territory.
You taking on J.D. Vance? Are you crazy? Are you crazy or what?
Yeah, the Pope is crazy.
I'm sorry. You stay out of it.
Know your role, Pope.
He's not being told the whole story.
The whole story.
If only he was watching Newsmax, he would get the facts.
He's the only one on earth with a direct line to God, but he's only getting one side.
Question your sources, okay? Where's God getting his info? The f***ing New York Times? Probably.
Is God woke?
Probably f***ing watching CNN up there. If you're not watching Chris Plant and the Wise Guys and Carl Higbee Frontline, you're not getting the full story, Rob.
You know, I can already tell. We're gonna need help watching the news this week. Gleep, call comedian Beth Stelling on the landline.
She hasn't blacklisted us from the first time we made her do this.
Calling.
Beth, wow. Thank you for joining.
I'm back and I'm in my flesh.
No more see-through Beth.
It's just easier for me to adapt to the zero gravity situation.
Well, we turned your previous body into a shower gel.
Thank you. As long as it's sun-ripened raspberry, I'm cool with it.
All right, let's get into it.
We're doing really well. Psychologically, I mean, the fake news was giving me...
Mental health is wealth, y'all.
He started with bargaining, and now he's in denial.
Delulu till it's true.
But you said some dolls are going to cost more. Isn't that an acknowledgement that some prices will go up?
I don't think a beautiful baby girl that's 11 years old needs to have...
Normal, beautiful.
Beth, your face. Are you okay?
I just can't hear him say baby girl one more time.
I'm just saying they don't need to have 30 dolls. They can have 3.
I feel like that's the most anti-capitalist thing he's ever said.
This is the weird horseshoe where Trump comes around to, like, the anti-consumerism.
Like some Soviet-era officer.
Yeah.
In America, little girl is victim of bourgeois excess.
Capitalist monsters are making toys for their children.
This is when his constituents are like, I'll have as many dolls as I want. Don't tell me how many dolls I get. I'm not going to be a dollless girl child.
I'm going to quote what you said. And maybe the 2 dolls will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally.
Zero tariffs on real dolls.
They don't need to have 250 pencils. They can have 5.
They don't need a box of 64 crayons. They don't need burnt sienna and raw sienna.
I agree with that, though. I feel like I think cerulean was a bullshit color.
I do hate that I agree that we do need less junk. But I don't agree in that I must have 250 pencils. You want pencils? I've got 250, but who cares? I need more.
I have 2 grown daughters. I have 3 small granddaughters. And
oh God, I'm already sick of this guy.
So there's 120 dolls between them.
I feel like he's trying to do an impression of a cowboy.
Wow, that's the best description of Mike Pence that I've ever heard.
Even though he's indoors, he's constantly squinting.
Yeah.
There's always the western sun in his eye.
Well, it's from the smoke that's coming up from his imaginary cigarette.
Clint Eastwood in, hang Mike Pence high.
Young lady and 10-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl.
It's all the same to me.
It's so insane, though, that the guy who was caught peeping on Miss Teen USA contestants would start a sentence with ages of girls.
He's like, I'm just going off of based off what I last searched.
Yeah.
I know I better do 15. I better do 15.
You can be very happy with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I would. Let's not waste a lot of time on a stupid question. What else?
It was the stupid thing I said, so let's not focus on it.
It's so annoying how we have to chase everything he says, but then he's also chasing the thing he says.
So I wish they'd keep, stop asking how many deals are you signing this week.
Why are you people so obsessed with deals?
I love that.
He's like a deals hipster. I was into him before it was cool.
We've moved from the dollar to the doll standard.
We're going to put down the price that people are going to have to pay to shop in the United States. Think of us as a super luxury store.
Kind of like Balenciaga releasing those trash bags at $2,000 a pop.
I feel like I'm a shareholder. Am I on the board of America?
You have said that Canada should become the 51st state.
No. Well, I still believe that, but it takes 2 to tango, right?
The first time he's ever said that? The only time he's leaned towards consent.
It would be a massive tax cut for the Canadian citizens. You get free military, you get tremendous medical cares.
Do we in the United States get free military and tremendous medical care?
You get a universal war care. There's a Part D for extra defense. That's a premium.
Somebody drew that line many years ago with like a ruler, just a straight line right across the top of the country. When you look at that beautiful formation when it's together.
That North American continent with those curves. Oh, yeah. It's got to be all one.
32, 26, 45.
Beautiful 250-year-old woman.
She's only 18 in continent years.
I'm a very artistic person, but when
I'm member to an elite few of artistic authoritarians.
But when I looked at that beauty, I said, that's the way it was meant to be.
Okay, so this is all about map aesthetics?
It's not for sale, won't be for sale.
But never say never. Never say never.
He's a big Justin Bieber fan.
It is time for Canada and their leaders to step down from their ivory towers.
Ivory towers? What the fuck?
Get off your Mountie high horse.
Who is this man?
This is Sean Hannity.
Oh my God, Beth, is this your introduction to Sean Hannity?
No, my dad's talked about him a lot.
He's only existed as a voice through your father.
He watches the television show that's Fox News.
Now you'll have something exciting to talk to your dad about.
No, I blocked him.
Here with reaction, White House Deputy Chief for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller.
Smile less, please.
What I witnessed was like watching a grandmaster in chess perform.
Excuse me, I meant to say Grandmaster Wizard.
It was like Bobby Fischer under a purple hood.
So to be called a Nazi, you grew up in South Africa. You lived during a period of apartheid.
You witnessed apartheid?
That's like telling the Nazis at Nuremberg you witnessed the Holocaust.
Yeah, honestly, this does remind me, I wanted to say something. Bill Cosby was nice to me. And
why are we going to Mars?
Eventually, all life on Earth will be destroyed by the sun.
Oh, what a relief.
It's gradually expanding. Earth will be incinerated.
I'd tell you in 5 years.
I'm hearing this for the first time. No one's ever told me the sun is going to burn Earth.
Except for 8th grade science.
I'm not disagreeing with it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I didn't know this was our destiny.
yeah, I think if we can survive Y2K, we can survive this.
The sun exploding is just another liberal hoax.
Birth rates are falling all over the world. When a mass middle class emerges, along with female education and the availability of birth control...
That dang female education is ruining humanity.
It's almost like when they have information, they do better.
And it's ruining us.
How about a cash bonus? Maybe $5,000 when a mom delivers.
Cool. That's like 10% of the hospital bill.
Yeah, it's like when a business emails you for a freaking 15% off. It's like, I'll never shop there again.
Yeah.
How dare you?
15% off?
Yeah.
Eat my ass. Nothing less than 20%.
We've often heard that couples can't afford children, so offering a financial incentive may work.
Didn't they used to be against this?
Yep. Would you be surprised to learn they have no moral core?
In vitro fertilization. Elon Musk has fathered multiple children this way.
Yikes.
You too can sue him for sole custody.
There is a proposal for a national medal of motherhood to mothers with 6 or more children.
6 or more children?
Kid horde, get over here. We're eating this medal tonight.
Get the work.
Birth control has been the focus. Now it might turn to birth encouragement.
That's what you came up with?
Would you like to join me at my house for a little birth encouragement tonight? Light some candles.
Maybe it'll turn into birth enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't imagine anybody's orgasming during birth encouragement.
Yeah.
In other words, get out there, get married, and procreate.
Get to
Go out there and jizz one for the jizzer.
The 2025 Met Gala. CNN described it as culture and style through the lens of black dandyism. Nobody knows what the hell that means.
I'm not going to look it up.
Yeah. As a newsman, I refuse to learn anything and report it.
Here at Newsmax, we do not look things up.
Here at Newsmax, we get all our news from whatever show was on Newsmax right before I came on the air.
All the news I need is right here.
I'm hitting the streets in my mind.
Why is he smelling his fingers?
That gesture's the closest he's ever getting to any
Yeah, I got to third base with myself.
The White Lotus actress, the cute Asian chick on the White Lotus,
Jesus.
Lisa.
Nice.
Is this the news or the morning announcements at Steubenville High School in Ohio? She's a pretty cute Asian chick.
Singer, she's a Chapel Roan or Chappelle Roan? Chapel.
Who knows?
No way to know.
Looks ridiculous, just hideous in every possible way.
Jesus.
That was just really non-specific commentary.
Walton Goggins, who's actually an actor that I really like, who wore a dress. The things that they make these people do to be famous and rich.
They made him. They held him down.
I will never do that. That's the only reason why I won't be famous and rich.
Sydney Sweeney, who's actually hot.
I mean, what?
Crazy.
Newsflash.
She's hot and white, just my type.
She's the only one of these people I've jerked to, okay?
I used to Walton Goggins, but then I saw he wore a dress. Can't stay hard to that.
Can't have a birthing encouragement to that.
She looked good. She was the only person anybody wanted to look at the entire event.
I like it because it has a little boob window for me to see her boobs. I thought it was great.
All right, I think that's everything.
We'll end on that.
Oof, that's so insane.
Morning announcements at a high school are more professional than that.
Sloppy Joes for lunch.
Whatever the hell that is.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know what's for lunch. I don't care.
And if you are experiencing dark thoughts, please visit our guidance counselor. I'd f*** her.
She's actually hot. Beth, anything going on in your universe that you want to plug or talk about on the show?
I am on my stand-up tour, BethStelling.com.
Hell yeah.
You can catch me in all different kinds of weird places. And I got a fun little half-hour special coming out this summer. So stay tuned for that. It's called The Landlord Special.
Where's that going to be?
I am going to release it myself.
Great.
Ooh, awesome.
Like
Good for
a
you.
YouTube situation or like a...
I think it will end up on my YouTube.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
It was good to see you guys again.
So sorry that we had to introduce all these characters to you like Sean Hannity.
Well, I blocked my dad. I can block Sean Hannity.
Yeah.
I have to get back to Earth, you guys.
Right. Thank you.
I have to go back to Earth. I'd love to come visit it another time.
Okay.
Always have fun.
Bye.
Bye, Beth.
Bye, guys.
You know, the old Pope, I think we can talk about him now. Way too political. And what the hell was this all about? I first thought that I was dreaming or hallucinating, but he's sitting there surrounded by a circus? Not a circus. There was a real sexual bent to it all and a trans thing going down, and it was weird. And it's kind of unacceptable. Yeah.
Hey Humies, thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, help us invade your planet by subscribing to our YouTube channel or drop us a comment. We really love those. If you really like the show, subscribe to our Patreon where we share some bonus content. All right, okay, gotta go. Bye!